So I just got back from the Laserfiche Empower conference. It's the annual conference for Laserfiche. It's a great place to meet other Laserfiche users, solution providers, Laserfiche devs, Laserfiche C-level. It's a great opportunity to share ideas and think about some of the things you've been struggling with, never really thinking that you can solve some of these problems, but coming up with these new ideas that make things work better for you. And one of the things that I always struggle with and I do not enjoy doing is when I create forms is testing the form, especially if there's a lot of conditional branches to the form. You want to make sure that when you deliver that form, whether it's internally to your own company or to a customer, that it's been tested in every way, because that 90% is always going to work. It's those 10% gotchas that are going to gotcha. So I don't enjoy testing, especially on longer forms, because a lot of times you could have pages and pages, especially an onboarding form, multiple pages of typing in different pieces of information and then kind of mailing it in and not putting in the correct information and not really testing it in a great way. So what I created was a JavaScript tester. Anybody can do this. Let's jump into it and let me show you how it works real quick. So here's my Laserfiche repository, and let's just click into this form that we have here. Super simple. If you've never created a form before, we're just doing a message start event, a message end event, and we're configuring the form here to our first submission form. Nothing complicated here. We're not showing you how to create forms here. This is going to be primarily for somebody who already has forms, who knows how to build a form and wants to test it quickly. So jump into the form. Just a couple of things we need to do here. We need to add a multi-line field that's going to capture all of our form data, and I'll show you how that works. We're going to need to dump a script into the JavaScript field for the form. And then we're going to go through the form, we're going to fill it out, and we're going to get that JavaScript data. Jumping over to my GitHub, this is where this project lives. It's the LF_modern_forms_tester under my company Above Integrations. If we just jump into this and we just look at inside the snippets, we have 4 files here, but the ones we're worrying about now are the via field ones, because these are the direct ones where you can just drop these into your JavaScript into the form, and then we can capture the data there. So let's open up Capture, and this is the script. Now, if you're not comfortable with GitHub, you don't know what GitHub is, you've heard about commits and pulls and all that stuff, you don't need to even worry about this. This is a public repository. You don't need to do anything other than go to it and copy and paste. So if we just copy that, so we're just copying the extract script. Jumping over to JavaScript here, let's just blow this wider and let's paste that script in. So there's only one other thing we need to do here. We need to grab a multi-line field and let's just drop it below our already existing fields. I already have these set up. I even have a department here with choices. That's okay, but let's just make this more real. Let's make this finance. Let's make this highway, and let's make this police. So we have our 3 departments here. Save that guy. Our multi-line field is here. I just want to make the multi-line field a little bit bigger. Let's just make it 10 for the height, and that's good. That gives us plenty of space for that. We don't need to do anything else with that. Now, flipping back over to JavaScript, we have our field IDs that are showing up. Once we hit JavaScript, our field IDs overlay all of our fields on our form. We only have to do one thing. Our field ID is 5 for the multi-line that we just put in. And let's just change that. That's this bridge ID, this bridge field ID. We're just changing that to 5. That's it. Everything else in the script is intact. You don't have to worry about any of it. Let's save this and let's just do this. I just don't like it being called multi-line. Can I change it to extract? I like that. Let's do extract. We're going to save, and let's just flip back to the process designer and publish it. Great. Now, we're almost done. Let's run the form, and let's just type in some information here, and let's pick a department. So now on submit, we're actually not submitting the form. So in your practice, you're going to type in all of your information. That JavaScript is going to be in the JavaScript already, and we basically are blocking the submit in order to do this. So we submit, And now we've captured the data. So this is pretty cool. So we've now captured this into the JSON format. We have a little note for you here that test data has been captured. Now copy this from the bridge field and you're going to paste it into the default value field of the form designer for the inject to use it. That's great. We can do it that way. We don't have to do it that way, but I'll show you how to get through that. So we have all of this information. Now this extract here represents the information that we put in these fields. Terrific. I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to copy that. And let me just drop that here. And I just want to save that because I know I'm going to be doing other copyings. Let's wipe that form out. And let's take the same form. We're going to keep the multi-line intact, right? We don't need to touch this. I can, just for the sake of posterity, change it to inject. Change that name. Let's go back to the JavaScript. Let's wipe this out. Jump back over to the Modern Forms tester repo. And let's just get back into snippets. And then let's do the inject via field. Same business again. Control A, Control C. We're grabbing all of that. Going back to our form, pasting it in. This is our inject. So again, the same thing because our script doesn't know what our field ID is. We're still at field ID 5, and we're just going to change that here. And there's nothing else we need to change. So 2 things you can do here. First, it said that we should paste it in the default value. So we for sure can do that if we want. So let's add this to the default value of this field. And now let's just go back and run this. Sorry, publish this, and then we'll run this. And on form load, that is going to load everything there needed to populate that field. It's a really simple example. It's only a few fields, but anything you change here now, when you exit those fields, gets updated in your form. So there's a couple of things that are going on here. You've extracted it, so now you have this base information. The 1, 2, 3, 4 represents the field IDs, and then the pair values represent the actual values that are going to be in those fields. You can change any of these at any time if you wanted to have multiple scenarios. And once you tab out, because we're using the onBlur event, once you tab out, we're changing everything here. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll put the link to the GitHub repo in this video, but I invite you to try it out. One of the things as I'm doing this, I'm starting to wonder, why don't we really take this a step further and use Claude with Playwright to actually automate these tests and ask Claude to come up with different scenarios? That might be something for another video. I'm going to mess around with that a little bit first, and then I'll be back with you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.